My name is JDuncan. I'm the owner of JDuncan Films, LLC. I am a producer, director of photography, and cinematographer all around.
In the land of freedom, selling dough like it's my only option. Too much weight to flush, it's in the safe house case the police knocking. Someone at the door, we got an offer, whoever told you about it. 30 clip, I get it doing math, I heard they wanted problems. 30 perk, don't even get a high, she put it in her silence. $30,000 in the safe off of Mossy Cotton. Either fall in line or clear the way, you gon' fall behind us. Cotton crib and build the wall so tall, it's gon' be hard to climb. Just to call the 7, got
Originally, I started to go to film school just to be like a cameraman, stuff like that. I don't know, I think it was the cameras are fun and everything like that, but I found the whole art of staging the lighting, staging where the camera's going, just staging everything in general. And coming from the Marine Corps, I at least had the leadership skills to kind of explain to people what I wanted and where everyone needed to be able to get that vision done. I actually got started in the film industry by when I was starting to go to college. I didn't really know how I should go ahead and get started, I would say. So everyone was going out getting jobs at like McDonald's, Walmart, stuff like that. And I was just like, nah, it doesn't make no sense if I'm gonna like eventually go in the field. Might as well just hop in and start going in the field. So I actually got started in the film industry by browsing Craigslist and websites like that looking for people. And that's actually how I found my first gig. And I'm still working with that same client to this day. I would say my most challenging thing I deal with as a DP will always be working with the weather and the sun. And I would say the best ways that I really work with it is, one, I have learned to respect the sun, the natural light and everything like that. So I actually like to allow as much natural light to come in and then bring and light up all that I need to bring in for the lights and everything like that. Even before I even start masking off the windows and stuff like that, I still like to just bring in as much natural light and start there. So I've started out of more trial and error. I have learned that the best way to go with starting with a new client is you really want to find out what that client always has an idea in their head, and of course you're always trying to recreate that idea, but I have found that it is honestly best to find out who your client watches the most, and because that's honestly where they're going to be pulling most of their content ideas from. So I will actually sit down and watch with the client and have them tell me about like why they like how Marcus Brown's like, you know, little logos down on this edge and stuff like that. Because honestly, going through and watching others' content with your client will really get you the best idea of what they are searching for and looking for the final product. So if there's one thing when it comes to working with other directors and stuff, and I'm trying to kind of bring in, you know, my idea of the division, but also kind of bring in their vision at the same time. I found that, and I don't know if this is my personality, but I found that I'm a very easygoing guy. So I always like to actually start off the conversation with, I'm as easygoing as they will ever be. So like whatever you are wanting, I will work to that. And then what I like to do is I find out what their ideas are, and then I kind of go ahead and I show them what they could add to it, you know, and you got to tell them, of course, we don't have to go with this, but, you know, hey, if you add this blue light over here, it kind of adds a nice little accent. And once you add stuff like that and you kind of explain to them stuff like that, they'll look at it and they'll go, you know what? You are right. That is actually pretty nice. And you can bring in your own ideas, but of course keeping with the director's vision. That's an easy one. Yes, as everyone does joke about, I am a huge fan of Small Rig, so I do buy a lot of their products. I love their products to death. But I actually start out every morning drinking coffee out in my sunroom, and I sit there and I ingest not only the news, but copious amounts of tech videos. I mean, copious amounts. I honestly sit there for 2 hours, at least, minimum, each morning, just watching different tech news, new technologies that are coming out, new plug-in features to DaVinci, all kinds of stuff. Everything from editing to new drones, to if it has to do with filmmaking, I'm watching the new technology that's coming out as it drops. The filmmaker that really influenced my work, and the main reason it influenced my work too, was because I actually hate working with artificial lighting. So, believe it or not, when I was kind of researching DPs and how they kind of go about all their stuff, I found out real quick that the good old Roger Deakins, the GOAT of cinematography, he's not like he's a huge fan of artificial lighting, but he is a huge fan of just trying to only work with practical and natural lighting coming in through windows. And I actually love that way of filmmaking so much. I have tried to use as little artificial lighting as I can in every film that I've ever worked on. But the project that I'm very proud of was my thesis film, actually. I'm more proud of it though, not only because of just how well it turned out for only one day of filming and not having like barely any crew and everything like that. It turned out very well. But what I liked about it the most is where I come from, back home, people are animal rescuers. And that's what my family back home really believes in. They believe in it so strong. In my family, you can get disowned if you're not great with animals. So when it came to having the opportunity to be able to not only be able to knock out my thesis project for my master's, but to also to do it on an organization that I love so much. And also this was a organization, a rescue that they hadn't really had anything like that. They hadn't really worked on promoting themselves, making any video for themselves. So being able to go there and be able to give them something that not only I was proud of, but they actually looked at it and was like, this is amazing footage of our facility, and that they were super proud of. That was better than anything I could have ever asked for. The best advice I ever received was actually from another DP, and he straight up, because this was in a moment of my life where I was trying and figure out, like I was thinking to myself, maybe I should go in as just a PA, maybe I should go in and try and be a first camera, you know, maybe a second camera. And he told me the best advice ever, and he said it's as simple as this. Just start out being a DP first, and guess what? The DP jobs will keep on coming. And that has honestly been the best advice I could have ever had.